What is good, my favorite earth science class? All right, today we're about to get it in. We're going to start talking about hydrology, all right? Hydrology. So you may be asking, what is hydrology? Hydrology is simply the water cycle plus infiltration and runoff. The formal definition for hydrology is the study of water above and below Earth's surface. So basically, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, but what happens after the water goes up and then hits the ground, all right? So two things occur when the water hits the ground, all right? And those two things are infiltration, say infiltration, all right? And then runoff, say runoff. All right, good. All right, infiltration is nothing more than water going into the ground. All right, I'm going to give you an example of infiltration right now. You ready? So I got me a bottle of water here. And now I'm going to take this water. I'm going to pour it on the ground. And it goes through the dirt. All right, that is infiltration. You don't see the water on the ground. It's going through the ground. Now, runoff is where the water literally runs off of the ground. You ready? Now I pour it on and you see it run down the surface. That is runoff. Okay, so infiltration is vertical motion of water through the earth, and runoff is horizontal motion of water through the earth. Now, these are important because we would rather have infiltration than runoff. Infiltration gives us what is called groundwater, and the significance of groundwater from infiltration is filtered water. When you write down infiltration, you will see the word filtered in infiltration. All right, so infiltration leads to what? That's right, groundwater. Good job. Air five yourself. All right, now there are four things that are going to dictate whether we get infiltration or, that's right, runoff. I see you working. All right, so we're going to talk about those four things now. You ready? All right, make sure you got your pen and paper so you can take notes, and let's get it. All right, y'all, I'm in my boat. I'm about to get it in. All right, so the four things that are going to dictate whether we get infiltration or runoff. All right, you ready? They rhyme, and I'm going to explain them to you. Ready? Vegetation. Say vegetation. All right. Ready? Rate of precipitation. Say rate of precipitation. Okay. You ready? Soil composition, which is number 3. And then slope. All right. You ready? So those four things that are going to dictate whether we get infiltration or runoff are vegetation, rate of precipitation, soil composition, and slope. And I'm going to give you an example of those real quick. You ready? We're going to jump out of this boat. All right, so the first one was vegetation. Vegetation is nothing more than grass, trees, roots, things of this nature. Anything that's going to do photosynthesis. And what it does is when it is green, guess what it is soaking up? Water. When it's brown, it's not soaking up water. Those trees behind me, the water in that swamp is getting low now because those trees are green and they're soaking up water. So with that being said, when that water hits the ground, the trees are going to soak it up rather than it running off and turning into a stream. Also, when you have vegetation, vegetation slows down the water so that it can't run off and it has to slow down and go through the earth. Okay, so that's vegetation. The next one is rate of precipitation. If I take this bottle and pour it out quickly, bow, do you think it's going to puddle or do you think it's going to run through the earth? Okay, exactly. If I pour it out slowly, the earth has more opportunity to soak it up. So if we have a heavy rain, expect the water to puddle up and run off. That's when we get flash flooding. Heavy rains bring flash flooding. But when we get a slow, steady rain, the ground has more of an opportunity to soak it up. All right, that's when we get infiltration. So rate of precipitation. The next one is soil composition, okay? Soil composition. This right here is my garden, y'all. By the way, you all are going to make a garden as well. I want you to go ahead and start looking for a place in your yard or wherever you live to grow a plant. If you don't have it, great. Go get some potting soil, get some dirt, put it in a pot, grab your seed, and start thinking about it because that's going to be an assignment for us. Really easy. That's the other part of to let's get dirty. But anyway, soil composition. Soil composition. Remember, there are couple different types of soil. What are they? Yep, sand, silt, clay, good job. And all mix of all three is loam. Good. All right. So Bigger grains of sand are going to allow water to move through. When you have smaller particles, the water's not going to move through as easily, so it'll puddle up. All right. So soil composition has a lot to do with whether you're going to have runoff or infiltration. And of course, the last one is slope. All right. So if you can look at this concrete here, the concrete, it is made at an angle. Why? So that when the water hits it, it doesn't puddle. We want that water to run off, all right? If the water doesn't run off, it puddles, and you get cracks like this in your concrete, and then you get potholes like you see up north, all right? So what we want to do is we want to put things at a slope so that the water runs off. The greater the slope, the greater the runoff. Man, you are smart. Yes, the greater the runoff. So what we want is we want to have a slope so that the water runs off. And when we're in the mountains, we see more runoff. When we're in areas like this, we see more infiltration because there's less slope. And remember, for all my math students, slope is rise over run. You got it. You got it. All right. Perfect. Now that you got all of this, I want you to process it, take notes on it, and you're going to actually turn this in a document. Good stuff.